Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a little training on how I do my vendor events, so that way if you come and run one with me or take over the table or want to do your own, I just want to give you some tips and ideas. It'll be little cuts here and there of different demos I do and things that I tell people. So stick around and let me know what tips are most helpful for you, and if you have any great tips that have worked for you, then please share that with me. All right, first thing when you're doing your vendor events, you want to make sure you have something with your name and information on it, including your Norwex website, to hand out. You can do whatever you want. So you can get some business cards, you could get the Norwex catalogs. This is great. I actually used my old ones that are expired for this, and I got a stamp. You can get them pretty cheap on like Amazon with your info, so you can stick it right on the back and be able to share that with people and just hand them a catalog. Another great thing is to get the Safe Haven 5 brochures, which I actually ran out of, but they're about this size and they have the top 5 products in it. That is also a great way to do a sample kit. So I do have these sample kits that I use that have a QR code inside with my information in them, but you don't need to do anything that complicated, especially if you're just starting out doing vendor events. All you need to do is get those Safe Haven 5 brochures. You can get a pack of 25 for pretty cheap, and then staple an EnviroCloth and a window cloth on the inside. So I actually cut up an EnviroCloth into 16 pieces. I'm using this sample on my table for something. And I cut the window cloth up into 20 pieces. And then I put them, you can staple them to the Enviro and window parts of the Safe Haven 5 brochure and make a little sign that says sample kit. And if I give someone a sample kit, I make them fill out a form. So they have to fill out one of these forms and they have to give me their name and their phone number, because I then send them a text with a video on how to use the samples. And I do have a video without my face in it, without my information on it, that you guys can use to share. So just ask me for that and I can get that for you as well. So that's the basics. It's nice to have a couple EnviroCloths, window cloths, or some Safe Haven 5 sets, some detergent, dryer balls, dusting mitt, cleaning paste. Those are like the main things that I tend to sell. You don't need a bunch of stock, so just get the top things. Or if you don't want to get any stock or you don't have time to get any, you don't actually need any, because you can just use the catalog. They can order on your website, or you can place orders right there for them at the table and they can pay. Make sure to have your Venmo available for people to pay. You can actually print out a QR code for people to use for the Venmo. I need to find mine because I was going to show you that. So there's mine. Oh no, that's Scan for More Info. Sorry, wrong one. Somewhere. I don't know where it is right now. I should have that out. Oh, here it is. Scan for Payment, Venmo. So put that out, makes it easy for people to pay. A PayPal option, obviously cash, and then if you want to get a Square account, you can do that and get a little Square reader. It should come free if you set up a Square account. So I recommend all of that. And let's see what's next. It's definitely nice to have something Norwex branded, so Norwex tablecloth or something that says Norwex on it, so people know what you're selling. One of the ways I like to set up my table is putting chenille hand towels on the ends and the kids' ones just with a safety pin. So that's a pretty easy thing to do. I also do a drawing and enter to win. This page is actually from a Norwex catalog. I wrote enter to win on it. If they fill out one of these forms, they get put in my jar. I usually do a $25 shopping spree, but you can of course do whatever you want for that. So how do you make a vendor event work for you? First of all, you have to work for it. So you cannot just sit in a chair next to your table. You cannot sit behind your table. You cannot just sit there eating. You cannot be on your phone. You have to stand next to your table, out in the open, waiting for people to walk by and engage with them. So people love talking about themselves, right? Including us. So we have to bite our tongues and not talk about ourselves. We have to make sure that we are asking them questions. So the first thing I ask when somebody walks by is, have you ever heard of Norwex? And I will tell you the general responses I've gotten. So the first common response is no, they've never heard of Norwex before. And I am always like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you haven't heard about this. Let me tell you about it. It is a microfiber cleaning company. You just use a cloth and water and it removes 99% of bacteria off the surface. So you don't have to use any sprays, chemicals, cleaners, bleach, wipe, anything like that, just a cloth and water. Do you want to see how it works? That's one question. Or a better question than do you want to see how it works is, what do you use at home to clean? That is my favorite follow-up question, because people will talk about what they use at home. And sometimes you have to give them some tips, like what do you use to clean around your toilet? What do you use to clean if you cook with raw meats in your kitchen? How do you wipe it up? And then they'll usually tell me. And then I have a bottle of disinfectant wipes on my table and I ask them, hey, is this something that you use? And they usually say, yes, I have some of those, or yes, I use those. And then I show them my demo. So that's up next. All right, so here's my main demo. I'm gonna have to hold it up and do it for you so you guys can see it because I don't have a great stand here. But when I ask them if they have ever used these wipes before, they usually say yes, and I ask them if they've ever read the back of the container. So I try to work while I talk because we only have their attention for just a few minutes. So while I'm asking them if they've ever read the back of the container, I'm putting just a little bit of glow germ powder on the plate. And you don't need very much. I'm just going to show you. I'm not using that much at all because you're going to make a mess trying to get it all cleaned up and you're just going to throw it all over your table if you put too much on here. So I tell them, have you ever read the back of the disinfecting wipes container? They usually say no, and I say, well, the surface says the surface must remain wet between 4 and 10 minutes depending on the wipe for it to actually disinfect. So this is glow germ. It imitates germs on a surface and it glows under a black light. When you use one of these wipes, it uses a chemical clean, which basically means the chemical or whatever's in here, even if you're using essential oils or vinegar, has to be on the surface for a certain amount of time for it to actually kill the bacteria. And then what you end up with is a residue and dead bacteria smeared all over your surfaces if you've used it properly, right? So hopefully we've used it right. So with Norwex, the cloth actually physically removes all of the bacteria. So it's not killing it, it's removing it. So just this cloth, it's damp with water, physically removes all the bacteria off the surface. If they ask how it can do that, I tell them most microfiber is 6 times finer than a human hair, and Norwex microfiber is 200 times finer, which enables it to remove all the bacteria off the surface. Then I shine the light on the plate and I show them there's nothing left on the plate. Then I say, if you keep using this wipe, basically you end up smearing your bacteria around on the surfaces. But as you can see, I've been using this towel all day for my demos, or all weekend, or whatever you want to say. And when I re-wipe the plate with that same side, it doesn't smear the bacteria around. And I show them that again. And they're always really amazed when I show that, or they're like, not so sure, or wanting to go on to their next thing, which is fine. So I ask them, are you interested? Do you have any questions? When I'm done doing that demo. But I also tell them the cloth has silver in it, which is antibacterial and antimicrobial. So when I pick up all of that bacteria into the cloth, normal cloths would get stinky and smelly. This one doesn't. So no stinky, smelly, mildewy cloths. Bacteria dies off as the cloth dries, and you can use the cloth throughout the week and then put it in the washer and dryer at the end of the week. And I've actually had this cloth for 4.5 years. So I tell them that I've had my cloth for a long time, so they realize that these cloths last even longer than you might think. Also, a little tip, when I'm done, make sure you turn off your black light. And I also like to take the Lysol wipes and put them back in the container when they are not looking, just because you can reuse them and it's fine to reuse, and the experiment works the same. So I usually put them back in the container so that I can use them over and over and over again, and don't get through the wipes too quickly. So I will tell you what's up next after that. So if they seem interested, then I ask them if they would like to see my next demo, and I'll show you that in just a second. But if they seem like they're wanting to move on, I ask them, is this something that you would like to try out at home before you would buy it? If they say yes, then I get them the sample kit, and I say, I have a sample in here. It's got our 2 main cloths in it. If you fill out this form, I will text you a video on how to use it, and then in a few days after that, I will follow up and see what you thought of the product. And then I give them that, they fill out the form, and I've got their info, and I make sure within the next day or two, I send them a video, and I make sure I send a follow-up text message about 3 days after that, checking in to see if they've used the sample and what they thought. So always make sure you do that. And up next is the next demo if they're sticking around and they seem really interested. Okay, for the next demo, usually I've got a mirror on the table, so you want to make sure you have a mirror, and you can use butter or chapstick, either one. So I've got chapstick here, and I just tell people this is chapstick, represents the grease and grime on your surfaces. And I usually have a separate Enviro cloth than the one I was using with the Glow Germ. But you can use the same one. I just tell them these 2 cloths are exactly the same. So first you're going to use that same cloth damp to wipe down your mirrors and windows, your stainless steel, your faucets. It works on your cars. And then you're going to use our window cloth dry to polish it. And again, you can use it on any surfaces that you want to have a streak-free shine, and there's no streaks. And then I even ask them to feel the surface of the mirror, because when they're touching it, it's not even going to leave fingerprints at first, because there's no residue for the oils on their hands and stuff to stick to. So usually people are very amazed by that demo, and they'll start asking more questions, or at that point ask them if they want to take a sample if it doesn't seem like they're going to purchase anything. If they're moving on and it looks like they might purchase, or they have other questions, I always have my Safe Haven 5 set up on my table. So I'll tell them, well, our main set, we have these 2 cloths come together for some savings. They always want to know how much they are. But I also say, you can add to the set, you can add our dusting mitt, which traps in all the dust really easily using static cling. So you don't have to worry about spreading dust around. It picks it up amazingly. And then I show them a cleaning paste demo if they're interested in the cleaning paste, which I will show you in just a moment. And then I talk about the detergent. So I'll tell you about that too, and what I say. Just remember, these are short bits to try and get people to purchase and love these products instead of walking away. So with the cleaning paste, I show them that I cleaned 1 shoe with it. I also have permanent marker and a tile in the cleaning paste. I dab the cloth in it and I rub it, or they can do that. If I have jewelry, I can show them me cleaning some of my jewelry. I can let them clean some of their jewelry. And I also show them how long I've had the cleaning paste open for. So this has been open for almost 9 months, and that's all I've used. So it goes to show them just how long it actually lasts for. And a question that you can ask them, because again, asking questions keeps people engaged. So I'm gonna ask them, like, what do you think you could use this on at home? I'll give you some of the ideas that you can use, what things that you can use it for. You can use it on polishing silver, cleaning your shoes, on permanent marker on tile, marks on walls, stains on carpet, cleaning your grout, cleaning hard water, cleaning your oven, cleaning your stove top. And I just start listing as many things as I can possibly think of, because we all know there's so many things you can use this for. And then I talk about our laundry detergent. So I usually ask them what laundry detergent they're using. And I tell them a little bit about our laundry detergent. I say it's amazing. It works so well. Our regular bag of laundry detergent does 400 to 500 loads of laundry. All you need is a half a teaspoon for a high efficiency load. And if you have a standard washing machine, you're gonna use about double that. So it's gonna be about half the amount of loads that I just said. But it's amazing. It works super well. All that's in it is the detergent needed to clean your clothes. And then we have our liquid detergent, which gets out blood and wine and grass stains super easily. It's 1 squirt, comes with a squirter. It does 215 loads in this little bottle, and people are always so amazed. And I tell them, look, these detergents are cheaper or the same as what you're already buying at the store. So when I ask them what detergents they use, I guide them to the website called ewg.org. So ewg.org, I tell people it's great to Google your detergents. So people tell me, oh, they use green cleaners already, or they use something that's clean. Many of the green cleaning products out there aren't actually green. I'm not going to name a bunch of names, but if you look up the top names that you know of, check them out and check out their cleaning products because they're not very clean. So I tell them, EWG, you can Google your product. So you can do Dreft, like baby laundry detergent, right? Dreft EWG. Google that. It'll pop up with its rating on its toxicity level to you and to the environment. And you can do that with any of your cleaning products to actually see how clean they are. But the nice thing about Norwex is you don't have to keep rebuying it. You can wash it and dry the cloths. You can keep reusing them over and over again. Our detergent is very concentrated, so it's actually going to save you a lot of money. And when Norwex formulates our products, we use ingredients that rate a 3 or lower on the scale from EWG. Their scale goes from 1 to 10, 10 being the most toxic. So you can know with the Norwex ingredients that we always have a 3 or less in our rating and that they are super clean ingredients, but they last a super long time and it's going to save you a ton of money. Some people say yes, they have heard of Norwex when I ask them if they've ever heard of Norwex before, and I say, great, do you have any? And they usually say yes or no. And the better question than that is, if you want to skip that and go a little faster, is what is your favorite product? If they can't tell you a favorite product, be like, oh, do you have some? And then if they say no, be like, oh, this stuff is amazing. Can I tell you about it? A lot of times they might say no, but maybe they'll say yes, right? And if they say yes, they have a favorite product, then they tell me about their favorite product, and I just say, oh yeah, I love that one so much. I agree with them. And then I ask them, do you have a consultant you shop with? And if they say yes, cool. I'm like, cool, don't cheat on your Norwex lady. Go support her. Have you ever hosted a party? And usually, a lot of times they say no. I'm like, oh my gosh, you get so much free stuff if you host a party. You need to call your friend today and tell her you will host a party for her because you want all the free Norwex. Like, she will love you to death for calling her out of the blue and telling her you want to host a party, and you'll get a ton of free stuff. And people love it when I say stuff like that. If they say no, they don't have a consultant, I'll say, here, let me give you my information. Because I have been doing it for this long. For me, I say it's my full-time job, but you don't have to say that. You can just say I've been doing Norwex for a few years. This is my side income or side job, or I just love Norwex or I'm passionate about it. Here's my info. I'm happy to contact you. Would you like to enter my drawing? I'm doing a $25 shopping spree giveaway, and then have them fill out the form. Filling out that form is key to getting you contacts. If you give your info to someone, they are probably not going to contact you. You want to get their info so you can reach out to them. So one more tip when I get people's info is on the back, I always write info for myself so I can remember it about them. So if they came with their husband, or they had 2 kids, or they were interested in a certain product, or I did a demo like blow germ, I'll write glow, or butter demo, I'll write butter. And if I give them a gift, I call it my life-changing gift, LCG, but you can do whatever you want, abbreviations, for the back. That just reminds me, oh, I gave them a sample. So I need to follow up with a video on that sample. If they ask about the cleaning paste, I'm going to follow up with information about the cleaning paste, right? So I try to follow up with them on all these different things. And I have tags in Project Broadcast, because that's what I use to keep all my contacts in, where I add them to sales, and I add them to a tag about sending them more information. I also add them to a local tag so that I know that they are local. And I add them to a tag of potential customers. If they did not buy from me. If they did buy from me, they're automatically going to get that customer tag from me and go into one of my campaigns. And if they fill out, they're interested in hosting, I'll do a potential host and potential consultant if they're interested in the business side of Norwex. So info, contacts, ask a lot of questions, share your samples with those who seem interested. Always get info, always get info, always get info. And don't talk too much. Share, educate, but also listen and learn. And don't be sad if you don't get a sale. This is not about sales. It's about contacts, which get you parties, team members, and sales. You don't want to just sell a couple cloths and people move on and they never use them. You want to create a relationship with these people so that they continue to shop with you. I would rather them not buy anything here and then buy something from me later because they love their products and they love me, rather than they just met me real quick, bought some products off the table. In fact, I often tell people, I'm here to do a lot of educating and share knowledge with people. So you can buy things off the table if you want to, but I would love it if you'd take a sample and try it out at home. And then I'll follow up with you, and I want to hear just what your thoughts are on it and if it's as amazing as I say it is. Right? So you're putting the ball in their court, you're giving them validation, you're respecting them and their time, and you are really just like honoring them and wanting their opinion, which we do. Because we want them to fall in love with it. So remember, it's not about you, it's about wanting these people to fall in love with a product that is going to change their lives. And the best way to do that is be more interested in them than interested in getting a quick sale for yourself. So good luck out there in your vendor events. If you're doing a table with me, then I look forward to you being at mine. But you can rewatch this training over and over again if you want to learn some of the verbiage. And one little trick of the trade is trying to practice doing the demos while you're talking so that you can shorten the time that you're spending with them there so that they're not like feeling like they're being